Time for a powerful breakfast. What's this? One Punch Man. Dragon Ball Z. Dark Side. Dark Side I can understand. One Punch Man. 100 push-ups. 100 sit-ups. 100 pull-ups. And 10 kilometers. And all of a sudden this guy can destroy the world? I mean, come on. I could do 100 push-ups. Heck, just a couple weeks ago I done 200 push-ups with a weighted plate on. And pull-ups. Well, that's ridiculous. I guess I could see Goku and Vegeta being that overpowered. They're not human. But who are you? How'd you get into my apartment? Hello? Earth to dark creepy guy? Hello? Man, you don't know who you're messing with, son. I will get off this couch and I will wreck your business. Don't you point at me. I will get off the... Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, nerds and nerdettes. Welcome back to the Nerd Corner. It's your boy, Brandon. Hope you guys are staying strong. Hope you guys are staying motivated. Most of all, hope you guys are staying nerdy. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the most overpowered entities, characters in all of gaming, all of comics, media, basically all of media, all of fiction. It's a topic that comes up a lot, and it's something that people love to debate. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most powerful characters in one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, this is a game that I can go back to no matter how long it's been, no matter what else I've played that may come close. I'll just get bored of all that other stuff and I come right back to this game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Blue's big musical from Blue's Clues, you know. Blue the dog. Most overpowered character in God's creation. I'm kidding. This is not even close to my favorite game. I've never even played this game. Didn't even know this game existed until I started digging through me and my wife's games. So, yeah, that's... No, I'm sorry. Anyway, on a more serious note, guys, it's a franchise, the games that I'm talking about. It's made by Blizzard Entertainment, and it is the Diablo series. So, the Diablo series, what is it? Well, it's 3 games so far. I'm not counting Diablo Immortal for phones. Diablo 1, then its expansion, Hellfire, Diablo 2, and its expansion, The Lord of Destruction, and then Diablo 3 and its expansion, Reaper of Souls. So, for me, it's just 3 games. So the first 2 go together to make one game. Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction go together to make the second game, and then Diablo 3 and Reaper of Souls go together to make the third game. So, with that being said, out of the entire series, they're all great, don't get me wrong. This isn't a hate fest on how bad Diablo 3 was, whether, it's comparable to 2 or even 1, because of atmosphere or story or character arc. None of that. I loved Diablo 3. It had a good game. I loved this, or had a good story. Sorry, it was a good game. Had a good story. The story arc was a little meh. The gameplay was fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like I played the crap out of it. I got it for 360, and then I got it again for Xbox One, and just played the snot out of it. I've even played it on PC a little bit. But the game that really drove home the Diablo series for me was Diablo 2. It had atmosphere. Even though it wasn't as smooth, the gameplay for me, like the mouse point and click, hack and slash, the way the characters leveled, the story, the way it introduced Diablo, and even Mephisto and Baal, just amazing, and it's, to me, I've got them all. I can't find my first one. I'm pretty sure it's in storage. I haven't played it in ages, but I've got Diablo 2 and Lord of Destruction. So, this box, man, takes me back. This thing is 10 days older than dirt. And then it brings in the druid and the assassin. So that's just 2 of the characters that you can play in this one. Yeah, they were good characters. You could make them crazy powerful, especially later on with hacks, or, modifiers, or hero editors as they were called. Yeah, you could become quite powerful in this game, and even in the first game. But you take all that away. You take away all the hacks, and play the game as it's meant to be played, and you get some of the best gear in this game. You're still vulnerable. You still have that, or at least your character has that capability of being destroyed. You could be taken down, sometimes quite easily, because when you're playing in hell difficulty, some of the mobs there have special abilities that just make them way, way overpowered versus the main character. So, it's not in Diablo 2 that we're going to talk about today. It's the character known as the Nephilim in Diablo 3. This one is specifically Reaper of Souls. I've had them both. I download everything digitally now. I mean, I've got a lot of games, but, buying discs is pretty impertinent nowadays, as you have to download everything anyway. So, the Nephilim of Diablo 3, especially as far as the lore is concerned, is the single most powerful entity in the entire Diablo expanded universe. Even characters who are supposed to be like these uber powerful, end-all be-all, created the universe, could possibly make the universe end, characters like Taphomet, the Primeval, which Diablo attains in Diablo 3, or even the High Host of Heaven, Tyrael, any of the, I forgot their names, God, Tyrael and, man, what's that dude's name? Tyrael's the good angel who becomes mortal, and then you have the rest of the Angiris Council of the High Heavens. I can't remember the main angel's name, but he's just crazy powerful. But then, you cut to that scene in Diablo 3 where Diablo obtains the form of Taphomet, or the Primeval, goes to heaven, and completely wipes the floor with all the angels, pretty much, including the one I'm blanking on right now. But anyway, back to the most overpowered character, the Nephilim. The main characters, or your character, the player character, in Diablo 3. So that's the Barbarians, the Demon Hunter, now the Necromancer, the Crusader, and the Witch Doctor. And the Wizard. Can't forget the Wizard. So, they've got the power of angels and demons, because in the story, the Archangel Inarius created Sanctuary with the demon Lilith and hid the World Stone there, and all the other angels and demons had children that looked like humans, or became the humans in that world. And at the beginning, they were all stupidly overpowered. They had the power to just wreck everything. And so, Inarius tampers with the World Stone a little bit and drains all their powers, and he was going to wipe them out. And Lilith, who may or may not be the antagonist in the new Diablo 4, which, I've waited so long. I'm excited for it. She went on a rampage killing angel and demons alike to save her children. And then, over time, over the millennia, their powers just kind of faded away. And the Nephilim was just a name that went off into obscurity. Like, yeah, there were heroes like the Prince Albrecht from Diablo 1 who slew Diablo, but he didn't kill him permanently. He was just a really, really brave, strong adventurer who just got lucky, killed Diablo, which his soul just went back into his soul stone, drove it to his head, tried to contain the Lord of Hatred, Lord of Terror, sorry, Hatred's Mephisto, and then come Diablo 2, which is almost immediately after, became Diablo, because Diablo was just way too powerful. So all those characters come together, the Barbarian, the Amazon, the Necromancer, the Paladin, and eventually the Druid, the Assassin, and they defeat, Mephisto, Diablo, and Baal. And then you fast forward 10, 15 years to Diablo 3, and all of a sudden, the Nephilim's powers have come back. And as a testament to this, that's why people dislike Diablo 3 so much versus the other games, because once you get to level 70, you keep leveling and just gaining tiers. Like, level 70 is the cap, and then you just keep getting more powerful the more levels past that you get, which carries on to your other characters. So unless you play in hardcore, in which if you die in hardcore, you're just dead. You have to start over. But yeah, like, I have 2 or 3 characters of each character in Diablo 3, and I'm just so stupidly overpowered that it's not even fun anymore. And even in the lore, Tyrael himself says that there's nobody more powerful. There's just not a single character in there that can even stand up to the Nephilim. Diablo gets all the other evils incorporated into himself and becomes essentially Taphomet, or at least a version of Taphomet that resembles Diablo. And he annihilates all of the angels and almost destroys heaven and conquers everything, but no. The Nephilim comes in, destroys the hordes of demons, and just pimp smacks Diablo back down, potentially ending him forever. Like, there's no Soul Stone, but the Black Soul Stone does survive because in Reaper of Souls, one of the Angiras Council, steals it and absorbs the powers of the demons into himself, etc., etc. But he also doesn't stand a chance against the Nephilim. You're just like, no. And it just, for me, that's what drove a wedge between the strong Diablo community, specifically guys my age, or not even guys, but guys and girls my age, from Diablo and Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Like, they're just like, oh, that game's horrible. It doesn't even stand a chance. And I'm kind of more inclined to agree. Like, I love the game, but it's not my favorite. 1 and 2 will always be my favorite game in that franchise, 2 being the number 1. But yeah, they are just so powerful that if they continue to make them a central character, then they have to go on to potentially be the antagonist. In Diablo 4, can Diablo even possess the Nephilim? Or Taphomet, or whoever? If that's the case, then that would be great. That would bring it back to a level of difficulty that people like me, or my generation, would be used to. Maybe Lilith is coming back knowing that the Nephilim has come back, that their powers are coming back, and she's going to be like, oh, I'm going to take over. I'm going to turn the Nephilim against everybody, the demons, the angels, and she's going to have a mass takeover using her children, the Nephilim, as her army, which would just be ridiculous. So the only person that would be able to stand up to that is another Nephilim, aka your character, who still retains their powers, but are just not going to go along with her plans. So, without getting too much into what they can do, I mean, just play the games, guys. Or specifically play Diablo 3. There's really not much to it, like Inarius is an angel, him and Lilith, being a demon, were powerful enough to create a world, create something from nothing, and they are terrified of the Nephilim, so that should say something. You have this being who is powerful enough to destroy these other superpowered beings in this universe, way overpowered. Not really much else I could say about it, guys. This one it's kind of the beginning of this stupidly overpowered series. When we get into more, contextual things with other characters like, from comics, Thanos or Darkseid or Trigun or, One Punch Man or Goku from anime, just to name a few. That's not necessarily what we're going to touch on, but we're going to do a bunch. I feel like this is something that people will enjoy. I enjoy it. This just felt like a good starting point. Because I'm excited about Diablo 4. There's a lot of people who are more into video games as a nerd category versus, books and comic books and stuff like that. So I'm like, let's just do the most overpowered Diablo character. It's the Nephilim. There's, besides the feats that you see of in the game or the lore, which you can look up, I'm not going to go into detail about it. Nothing else can be said, guys. They are the single most powerful entity in the Diablo universe. So with that being said, we're going to bring this video to a close, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and maybe leave a subscribe. If there is a character that you guys want me to talk about that you think is stupidly overpowered, let me know down in the comments, and maybe we'll talk about them. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Nerd Corner.